Hello everyone, got 5 dirty jokes for you today. With no warning and clear out of the blue, a husband said to his wife, "Honey, I have invited a friend home for supper tonight." As expected, the wife wasn't happy at being imposed upon during what she imagined to be a quiet evening. His wife replied, "What? Are you crazy? The house is a mess. I didn't have time to go shopping, all the dishes are dirty, and I don't feel like cooking a fancy meal tonight." The husband said, "I know all that." The wife looked at him with incredulity. She wondered when she would ever get a little peace. "Why in the world did you invite your friend for supper tonight?" asked the wife. The guy answered, "Because the poor fool is thinking about getting married." So Michael, a handsome man, walked into a sports bar at around 9:58 p.m. He sat down next to this blonde at the bar and stared up at the TV as the 10:00 p.m. news came on. The news crew was covering a story of a man on a ledge of a large building preparing to jump. Michael says, "You know what, I bet he will." The blonde replied, "Well, I bet he won't." Michael placed $30 on the bar and said, "You're on." Just as the blonde placed her money on the bar, the guy did a swan dive off of the building, falling down. The blonde was very upset and handed her $30 to Michael, saying, "Fair's fair. Here's your money." Michael replied, "I can't take your money. I saw this earlier on the 5 o'clock news and knew he would jump." The blonde replies, "I did too, but I didn't think he'd do it again." So Michael took the money and walked away. So an old rich man and his 3 sons pass away and arrive at the Pearly Gate. St. Peter tells the old man, "We've been expecting you, but not them. Your sons are not supposed to be here." The old man replies, "Well, it's all my fault. When I was dying, I had a test for them. I gave each of them $10 and told them to buy something that can fill the entire room. Whoever accomplishes the mission will inherit all my wealth." St. Peter becomes curious and replies, "Then what?" The oldest son says, "I bought many boxes of cotton and it barely filled the room." St. Peter keeps asking, "That doesn't explain why you're here." The second oldest son says, "I bought a used gas cylinder. As soon as I opened the valve, the stinking smell of gas filled the room. At that moment I thought I won." St. Peter becomes more curious. "Sounds goofy but still doesn't explain why you are all here." The youngest then adds, "I brought a lit candle, thinking it will easily make the room full of light." So Charlie, a new retiree greeter at Walmart, just couldn't seem to get to work on time. Every day he was 5, 10, 15 minutes late. But he was a good worker, really tidy, clean-shaven, sharp-minded, and a real credit to the company and obviously demonstrating their older person-friendly policies. One day the boss called him into the office for a talk. "Charlie, I have to tell you, I like your work ethic. You do a bang-up job when you finally get here, but your being late so often is quite bothersome." "Yes, I know, boss, and I'm working on it." "Well, good, you are a team player." "That's what I like to hear." "Yes, sir, I understand your concern, and I will try harder." Seeming puzzled, the manager went on to comment, "I know you're retired from the armed forces. What did they say to you there if you showed up in the morning late so often?" The old man looked down at the floor, then smiled. He chuckled quietly, then said with a grin, "They usually saluted and said, 'Good morning, Admiral, can I get your coffee, sir?'" So a man loses his legs in a bear fight. Despite this, he wins the fight, and uses the bear's legs to replace his own. By the time he gets to a hospital, he has full control over his legs. The doctors tie the legs better and let him keep them. About a month later, a ringmaster of a freak circus finds him and offers him a job in the circus. He accepts, and a few months later is ready for his first act. He walks in front of the audience and loudly exclaims, "I will now walk over these hot coals with bare foot."